Edward here from the Crypto Viewing Group. Going to go over the last two sessions here from the Vimana project, but I'm going to do a quick plug here for my buddies, my pals, my teammates, Mr. Dash Smith, Mr. Dick Algar, the Crypto Viewing Group. I'm going to leave the link below. Check us out. Become a subscriber if you want. We do a lot of remote viewing. Oh, look at that. There's a world events hit from me. All kinds of stuff. Backed. This is important stuff. All kinds of very important stuff that we do here at the Crypto Viewing team. Constantly working, and it's very important work, very timely work, and very important to the future as far as what's happening, what's coming down the pipeline. So I'm going to do a quick plug here for my buddies. Okay. I want to go back to the previous video, the previous session. Somebody had sent me a link about this image, and you know who you are who sent me the link. Thank you so much for that. That was so very kind of you and very, very helpful. This situation here, this holographic entity showing itself, and everybody's going, whoa, and some people are passing out, some whatever. I'm not even sure what brought that on. I was going through the thing here with the grant and the gift and the whole deal, and this situation going in here, and then blammo, here comes this somebody having a vision, this holographic type display, and somebody sent me this link that this looks and sounds like what that was, which is very cool because this was not part of the tasking, but it's part of the story. The Vishwaroopa, and the Vishwaroopa was some entity showing itself in a vision, and it's in the Mahabharata, it's in the climactic war, it's right in the timeline of the tasking, when there supposedly was having this war between Krishna and Dwarta. And so let me read this real quick here, this vision with this dude, Arjuna. Arjuna experiences the vision of the Vishwaroopa with divine vision endowed to him by Krishna. So he's, somebody hanging out with Krishna. Krishna kind of taps him on the head, and then blammo, he's seeing this entity here. And it was right at the time when all this stuff is happening for the tasking, supposedly. And here, this is what I was getting very, very interesting. I want to look more into this, into the Vishwaroopa, and see what else is in there that I need to be aware of. So I want to point that out because that's really helpful. And again, I want to thank the person who sent that link. That was very, very nice of you to do that. Let's get some Vimana images here. My internet. Come on, speed it up. All right. All right, last two sessions here, again, for this, the Vimana project. I have the long version that I just posted on my Patreon, which was really interesting because I was going over those sessions for the first time since I did them and scanned them and sent them over to Dustin. So a lot of the stuff, was not in my thoughts. So as I was going through it, I was going through it in real time, which was really cool. Because there's some really interesting stuff in the final ones here. Let's get started. Last session, this was done on the 18th, which was 8 days later. This was on the 10th. I took a break of 8 days. So taking a break for 8 days and going back in, that's like 10 years from a remote viewing session. If I'm not looking at it, it's very difficult for me to remember what was going on. But I wanted to get this project done. I didn't feel satisfied. I was not done with the work that I had accomplished up to this point. I did not feel that I was satisfied. I was not finished, and I wanted to be. So this is how I queued myself up. Satisfy myself to the nature of this target. I'm ready to get satisfied here. What do I need? I'm ready to move on. I'm back into this world-to-world communication thing. Some complaint about something. This is stuff was coming in here that was from the previous sessions. Let's see if I can remember what some kind of complaint. Hang on. They're communicating the Earth and this home world place. Telepathic communication or technological? I don't know. Union, calling, interplanetary, vast distances. Again, I'm being pulled back into that. Stimulating. This is my AI, my aesthetic impact. I was feeling this was stimulating to me. My curiosity was getting triggered. I was like, okay, I'm here. Let's rock and roll. Long distance, open civilization, communication has been established. Interactions happen again. These two from the previous session. Alliance joining. This was an interesting idea here. Here's Earth, the bringers, the enlighteners. But here's 3 ships here. I had one. I think I had one previously. Force arrives, bringing things, seeding of ideas, plans, structures. This was like in a couple of sessions back too. I can see people doing lectures about this. This was from the first 2 sessions, spreading the message. Spreading the message in lectures, and how do you keep that information flowing through the years, through the generations? That's how you do it. Word of mouth, along with text and other forms of media. Reminds me of an alien intervention, growth spurt, radiation, which was interesting. Push forward, up in the air, guidance, providing guidance. Feels old and new. Present, which is maybe a time distortion of some kind. I took a break, came back. I think I came back the same, maybe an hour later or something like that. People, towering, tower, old, biblical. These ideas of something biblical, like the story out of the Bible, Ezekiel, like Ezekiel and the wheels, which is many believe is a biblical story about an alien spacecraft showing up. I'm totally fine with that. Ark of the Covenant, that kind of thing. Again, biblical in its scope, size, and effect. And I was thinking about this the other day. Where did it go? That the story or this book, the Mahabharata, probably could be seen or acknowledged as the Bible of the Hindu religion, or at least one of them. I believe the Bhagavad Gita is in that, I believe. So if that's the case, then it would be like a Bible in comparison of a book of that nature. Planetary boundaries, across planes, languages, across time. This is where it was feeling like the Tower of Babel was coming into my mind. Classifying people, the world, different people. This image here came into my mind of one of these crafts, and they're hitting the earth with some type of powerful energy beam of some kind. Big effect, a global shaping history. Is that changing people or going, like this is what was interesting to me and bringing me into this idea of the Tower of Babel was this cross languages, like the story of the Tower of Babel, where people were given different languages and all that kind of thing, separated out. Shaping history, moving energy, time affected, which was kind of like what I was feeling above here in the feels like it's old and new. Where am I here? Time affected. Arrival. It was difficult to grasp. That was I had so many perceptions coming in that I had to try to bring it down. So I did a movement here, move to the core elements of this target and describe, or core element of this and describe. Arrival, showing up. Move to the arrival and describe. What does that mean, arrival? And here I am with the ship here. Is this one of the Vimana? Here's one of the Vimanas. Bright, flashy, thunderous fear. This stage 7 came in. They are coming. Stage 7s are typically when you have an auditory effect in your mind, like you're hearing somebody say something. Obviously, this would be translated in my mental processes. We'll be converting this into my language, which would be they are coming. People running and clashing. This goes along with the story here of the ships and the people are freaking out and the whole deal. So that does go along with the plot. And again, this one's separate. There's something different about this one. And here's the up close. Krishna, I feel so in some band of energy there from his Vimana. Glowing gene pool, different type of gene, DNA. Close, small change, modification. These ideas are coming in. This idea, how things change, how they change, how they are brought to change, like a grand design at play. Some big thing taking place, a telepathic communication, designed to inspire, enlighten, broaden, expand, for contrast. Some assistance, this is the assistance thing. Expansive points of view, intelligence. Where it comes from, where we come from. Ended on that note. All from that. Came back. Oh, let me go to the final. This is the final session. This was 4 days later. On the 24th, Dustin asked me if I would do a movement on these elements here, which were from a couple sessions back. Some death, fires, storms, and revelations, because those perceptions that came through in that earlier session go along with the story of this epic battle in the Mahabharata. I, of course, did not know that because I'm blind to the target. I have no idea what the target is. I said, okay, sounds great. Some death, fire, storms, and revelations. Let's go. Going through my thing here. I'll talk about that at a later time. I'm on a location here, which locations were a big part of the tasking of the location of maybe where some of these Vimanas were, maybe where some of the stuff in the target variables were a lot of geographical elements that per the tasking I was being asked to look at per tasking. I of course don't know that because I'm blind to the target. But those things were coming through here. A bright light, something coming out of here was what I was feeling. Mountainous terrain, something open, moving out, outpouring, something from this cave, which I was doing some looking, and some videos or some online sites were showing where somebody was claiming they were finding a Vimana in a cave somewhere in a mountain. So we'll see. Maybe that's what this was about. Hot steam. Something has opened, revealed, a revelation, question mark. Something opened up. Maybe out of here. Something opened. Something has been revealed. The sun came. That's an idea. The sun. The sun. Move to that which, of course, I'm curious. Move to that which has been revealed and described. Of course I'm going to ask that. That's, are you kidding me? That, of course, will be my next movement. It's like a door opened, a revelation, a message, question mark, a download, question mark, a stance. This came in very strongly, very strong word right here, a stance. Not a common word, but a very strong idea. Truth, a stance, question mark. This is interesting. This is an interesting word here because it's coming from the question, move to that which has been revealed and describe. So of course I go into what could be, this is like a modified stage 5 in controlled remote viewing. A stance. Give me some ideas of what about a stance? What is a stance? A position, a point of view, that's a stance, a way of doing things, directions, strong direction, taking a stance, could be warlike, or taking sides, could lead to war, or has led to war. And here we are into the variables of the story of the target there. But here's what's interesting. This is all coming through, but I'm not interested in that. I'm just not. I'm interested in what has been revealed. That's what I'm interested in. And then boom, I'm back at the mountain here. In a mountain or at a mountain, the location, designated point, a reference point, a power point, a power location. I'm back into the geographical elements of the target variables here, which is what I'm interested in. Move to the point of view and describe an angle, a direction to go. Oh yeah, this was interesting. A way of peace, finding peace, internal struggles revealed, like an internal cleanse. A way of doing something, a way of life, question mark. Mindset, a way of thinking, how to think, like an instruction manual, a how-to, a directive, a prime directive, question mark. A mystical communication, here. Here. Prime instruction. Prime instruction. High state of mind, question mark. And in there's a cost. There's a shedding. I understand. I know what this is. I've lived through this. A removal of something. A purge of something. Something pulls away at you. And again, I'm getting this reference to this point, this geological location, can be agonizing, like a punishment or purgatory, stripping away at someone, bending them, ripping something from them, a brutal truth, a cleansing, like being filtered out. There is the idea of once this happens to someone, there's no going back. Like a layer of someone gets removed by this process, like a force of energy. I'm not finished yet. I'm not satisfied. Describe the revelation. Again, I have to retask myself. This is where I want to be here. Just go back to it. An opening, a fountain. And I'm wondering if there's references in the Mahabharata to a fountain, a capstone, brilliant, like an enlightening taking place, a new being. And then I get this question, where is this? Is this earth? Fire? Fire? Something chosen, someone chosen. From beneath, below what? Like under the earth. Something under the earth? Under the earth. And I drew this globe, and I drew what looked like Africa, and I got this, of course, Africa came into my mind. Is it in Africa? I don't know. Multiple reference points, streams of data like a field, power location, and I was getting these ideas of these power locations around the earth. Feeding each other, connecting a grid, feeding people energy. Some people receive this, some people receiving these hits. Like a blast of energy. These questions came in. Do you want this? Can you take this? More like, as in, can you handle this? Can you take this? Can you handle this? Question mark. Some will break. Some will not. Like this is for a certain type of person. Some are designed for it. If you're not designed for this, it can rip you to pieces. Describe what happens to those who are designed for it. Of course I asked that. Of course I asked that. Happiness, fulfillment, empowerment, advancement, a lifting up, a catalyst, planting a seed, a bringer, a new destiny, a cultivator. These become the bringers of the or a way. Very important right there. The or a way. Like an activation of an ancient code within. I like this. like an activation of an ancient code within. And what activates it? This? That's what I was shown here. Like an activation of an ancient code within. Sleeping code activated. Some individuals, they are the different ones. The chosen ones, question mark. Chosen ones. How do I feel about that term? Chosen ones. The magnificent, the bringers of a new dawn, question mark. A fountainhead, question mark. Let me look that up. That kept coming to me. Fountainhead. Why is it called the fountainhead? Fountainhead means chief source of something. And the summary quoted of the book, I don't care about that. Fountainhead means chief source of something. That makes sense. Chief source of something. That's really interesting. A classification, a driving force in the population, an alien presence comes here, flying around their Vimanas and all that. Duality, science, right and wrong, the law. Here it is. This is how I ended it right here. It's in the book. Read it. And that was like, it's in the book. Read it. I didn't know. I was blind to the target. I didn't know that the target was an account in a book. That was it. That was it. After this, I was satisfied. I was satisfied. I could finish this. I was finished. I had gotten what I need to get. Very interesting stuff. That's it. That is the end of the Vimana project. I want to thank Dustin again for picking yet again a kick-ass target. Very cool. Many more to come. One more shout out to my buddies, my bros, the crypto viewing group, Daz Smith, Dick Allgaier, and myself. We do remote viewing, blind conditions on crypto targets, on woo-woo targets, on all kinds of targets. We do great stuff. The link will be below. And that's it for now, and we will see you soon.